Newberry's lacrosse teams were busy at Setzler Field. Our cameras were there. We'll get a look inside the world of Newberry's international students. And members of the Newberry community remember Miss Bobby Sides. All this coming up on Wolves Weekly. From the Langford Center studios at Newberry College, this is Wolves Weekly. I'm Al Della Chica. Well, we're halfway through the spring semester, and the Newberry lacrosse teams are finding their groove. The men were 4-3 coming into last weekend, getting a big win against Tusculum before losing a close match to Embry-Riddle last Wednesday, while the women's team got off to a 6-1 start. Both teams played at home last week before spring break began. On Wednesday, the women faced off at home against Slippery Rock, while the men faced Emory and Henry at Setzler Field on Saturday. Victor Hennian has the report.
In lacrosse news, at the beginning of the week, senior midfielder Emma Jobs was awarded the SAC's Women's Lacrosse Offensive Player of the Week. During the week, Emma scored 10 goals with 1 assist during the 2 games the women's played. She recorded 10 goals and 1 assist to help get a 19-8 victory over Tusculum, adding a win to their SAC play. Emma scored 4 goals to help her team beat Belmont Abbey 19-15. The Newberry women's lacrosse team faced off against Slippery Rock University at Setzler Field this past Wednesday. The Wolves were on a 3-game winning streak going into this game, which gave them a lot of confidence going into the afternoon matchup. The women's team have started off the season great, having an overall record of 6-1 and an undefeated record in the conference play, being 3-0 going into the game against Slippery Rock. Both teams have come off great wins to help build momentum into the afternoon's match. The game started and Slippery Rock came out scoring 4 unanswered goals in the first quarter. The Wolves found their first goal of the game by an unassisted goal scored by Emma Jobs, making the score 4-1. Slippery Rock would respond quickly, scoring another goal within the next 20 seconds, making the score 5-1. The Lady Wolves scored the next 2 goals in the second quarter to close the lead. With the help of Emma Jobs and Keely Sailors, Slippery Rock would answer with 2 goals late in the second quarter, with one coming in the last 10 seconds. Going into the half, the Wolves were down 3-7. Slippery Rock scored the first 2 goals in the second half, and the Wolves responded well by scoring back-to-back goals by Scythe Shepherd and Amelia Hawks within 2 minutes at the end of the third quarter. This was an excellent response for the Wolves because they had the momentum going into the fourth quarter. Slippery Rock would go on to score the next 4 goals, and the Wolves would respond by scoring back-to-back goals in less than a minute from the help of Mackenzie Watson and Scythe Shepherd. But it wouldn't be enough to catch Slippery Rock late in the fourth quarter. The Wolves would end up not being able to catch up with Slippery Rock when the clock ran out. The Wolves fell short of Slippery Rock 13-7, which put the Wolves at a record of 6-2 overall. The Wolves' next game is an SAC conference game against the Wingate Bulldogs. They will play the Bulldogs on March 19th at 4 p.m. in Wingate, North Carolina. For the Newberry men's lacrosse team, senior goalie Nolan Downey was awarded Newberry College, South Carolina Army National Guard Player of the Week. During last week's conference game against Tusculum, Nolan played for 45 minutes, while also having a .714 save percentage to help the Wolves get a massive 20-6 win over SAC-appointed Tusculum University. On Saturday, March 15th, the Newberry Wolves were set to face the Wasp of Embry and Henry at Setzler Field at 1 p.m. The Wolves were so hungry for the Wasp this afternoon, the Wolves would come out swinging by scoring the first 5 goals in the first 5 minutes of play, thanks to Shane Halliwell scoring 3 of the first 5. Liam Bollins and Aiden Snow would help add the total. The Wolves would dominate this first quarter of play by outscoring the Wasp 14-0. Going into the second quarter, the Wolves would have a commanding lead of 14-0. The Wolves wouldn't stop there by adding another 6 to their total thanks to the help of Finn Joyce, Gavin Strab, Trey Weinstein, Bailey Phillips, Fraser Beret, and lastly Mason Kreller. The Wolves would go on to have a demanding lead of 20-0 going into the locker room. After the third quarter, the Wolves would score 2 more goals scored by Shane Galt and Ryan Fahey, which put the Wolves up by a score of 22-0 over the Wasp going into the fourth quarter. The scoreless streak for the Wasp would end in the first minute of the first quarter, ending a 22-0 goal run, making the score 22-1. But the Wolves would respond by going on a 6-goal run to end out the game, making the final score 27-1. The Wolves are set to face off against the SAC Point Wingate Bulldogs, which will be taking place in Wingate, North Carolina this Wednesday, March 19th at 7 p.m.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here. Ooh.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
My dad was a farmer. The guy was bigger than life. He wasn't someone that liked to show his emotion or liked to show when he was struggling, but we all struggle. I want to show emotion to my kids. It's something that brings me so much joy, and I want them to see me working through things. Allow your kids to know that it's okay to struggle, that even dad doesn't know the answer sometimes, but we're gonna figure it out together.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5.
Okay.
Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Welcome back to Wolves Weekly. My name is Joel, and today we're here with the two students of Newberry International Community.
Hello, my name is Javier Borrego. I'm from Spain, and I'm a double major in business administration and digital marketing.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us, Joel. I'm Benny Fisher. I graduated in political science last year, and together with Javi, some time ago, a couple of months ago, we came up with the idea to form the Newberry International Community. It's a need that we saw for the college, and it was formerly known as the NISO, actually the Newberry International Student Organization, and we've kind of rebranded that, redeveloped that, and we're trying to go from there.
All right. To know, what is the Newberry International Community?
Yes, so the Newberry International Community is supposed to be an organization and platform for our international students here at Newberry. Our primary goal is to be a resource station that the internationals can address with questions, concerns, anything they might have. Obviously it's a big ask for people to come here, mostly also from overseas, to start a new life, get to know a new culture, not just when it comes to academics, also when it comes to social aspects and all that. And we're just kind of there to kind of help them out and especially get them started. So we're a very important address for freshmen in particular.
All right, sounds good. What inspired you to create this, and what are your main goals?
Yeah, so that's a great question. What inspired me personally is honestly the personal experience I had during my freshman year, especially my first semester. I came here as a freshman. I got on the plane. I wasn't even sure who was going to pick me up from the airport in Charlotte when I first came here. And just a couple of rocky things that I noticed when I first came here, and I saw a need for people to kind of get some more information. Getting to understand and know what they have to do when they first come here. Another issue I had was when I first came to campus, I didn't really know what I needed for my room, like bed sheets, blankets, pillows. I didn't know what was going to be provided and what I still had to get for myself. I needed people to drive me to Walmart to buy all that stuff, obviously. And I would say most of us are very fortunate as internationals because they're usually athletes, and so they have their teammates. So they know some people before they even get settled in. But still, I think there's a couple of things that we need to set straight and help people out with, and that's why we formed the international community.
All right. So in your opinion, what support and resources can benefit the international students, not just the newcomers, but the ones that are currently studying at Newberry?
Yeah, as Benny was saying, our main goal is help those people that are coming from a different continent that just land here and they really do not know what do they have to do. So we want to be there. We are trying to make as many things as we can to make them feel confident and feel that they are having a good time here in Newberry. So we create different resources where they can find that help. The first one is WhatsApp community group chat where we post the biggest concerns, the events, our goals and everything, and they can ask for help if they need it. We also made a handbook which we put the most important information as it can be how to create a social security number, even how to go to Walmart just to buy the stuff for a room. We also put information to get a driving license. We are making it new because we want to make more details on it, as just how to fix housing problems, how to get a student ID on campus. And that's what we've been doing lately. Just the main goal is being there for the newcomers and international students to help them.
All right. So what's your plans for the future and how to encourage more people? How are you guys thinking about encourage more people to get involved in the international community?
Yeah, so right now, this year, we just created, so we want everyone knowing what is the need, what is the need of the international community. So we are making different events to just people to know about it. We are working on different sports tournaments. It can be a soccer tournament. We are working on different events where people can just show up and have fun and know our goals and our plans for the future. And one of the main things that we want to fix is help people that land in the airport and they don't even know how to come to campus. So we're trying to make a transportation plan for those newcomers and those international students.
It's really good. So how do you describe the feeling of your own space and platform here at Newberry College?
For me, I think it's fairly obvious. We already talked about it a little bit. Most of our internationals here are athletes. And we have a lot of athletes here, so of course we have a lot of internationals. And I think it's important for them to have a place they can address when they need something, and just also kind of, extra space of belonging, if I can say it like that. We all just hang out a lot with each other socially, and I just want to make sure that expands further into, also helping each other out when we need help. And I just think overall it's a platform that's very much needed.
Right. So we know that we have an international event soon in the 28th March. So what do you guys want to talk about it? What impact are you expecting that they can have in the community and in the Newberry College students?
Yeah, so my supervisor, Alexis Ray, which is the academic for student success coach, is working on this festival, which is going to be, as you said, on 28th of March, which is in Newberry downtown. She's been working really hard on it, and it's going to be a festival with music of different countries, different food trucks, so people of Newberry can try and can kind of know what is our culture, so they can go there and talk. There's going to be people from different countries where they're going to be on a stand, just answer any type of questions that the Newberry students or people from Newberry can have. That's kind of the goal, make people know the different cultures and that we are from the same. It doesn't matter where you're from, and we share the same goals, and we want to have a good time here.
Thank you so much for coming. It was a pleasure having this conversation with you guys, and keep going what you guys doing. You guys are doing a really good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
If you're high, just don't drive.
It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
You're watching NCTV Newberry.
No place could have been as happy as Newberry College was on Friday, December 13th. The campus was full of families, proudly watching their students officially graduate at that morning's ceremony. Winter break was about to begin, and Christmas was around the corner. No one could have known that 1 week later, the Newberry College community would mourn the loss of someone who not only devoted a half-century of her life to this place, but was one of the most beloved people on campus, Bobby Sides. Cornelia Rutkowska asked some people who knew her well to share some stories of Miss Bobby.
I would describe Miss Bobby Sides as the heart of Newberry College. She was an individual who just loved Newberry College, started work here over 50 years ago, and spent her free time here, spent time with family here, spent time with us as a second family.
So I got lucky. I got to work with her as a student and as a staff member, and the best word I can use to describe her is just like welcoming. Like, it never mattered what kind of day you were having, what kind of day she was having. She's just so welcoming to all students, faculty, staff.
Miss Bobby was the matriarch, no doubt in my mind. She was the glue that held this school together.
There are so many memories, but the one that sort of sticks in my head is folks coming in and sitting down at her chair. We called her sort of our work mom. We would go and sit and talk with mom, and she would give the good advice and guide us and direct us. The last Monday with her, I was able to sit in that chair, and we just giggled and laughed over something very, very minor, but she was enthralled with the idea of Intercourse, Pennsylvania. A gift had come for Dr. Sheerans from meat market there in Intercourse, Pennsylvania, and so Ms. Bobby had to go find out why it was called Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
The funny thing about Miss Bobby that a lot of people do not know is she was a Yellowstone watcher. Right before she passed away, the season finale of Yellowstone was on that Sunday. I was on vacation on that Monday, but I had to do some things around town, and I wanted to make sure that I was able to come up and talk to her. So I came up and talked to her, and we stood and laughed and cut up for about 5 or 10 minutes, and it was very peaceful to me the next couple of days when I found out that she had passed away, in my heart, knowing that she got to watch the season finale of Yellowstone. I know that's silly, but it was just, I knew how much she loved it. She would always pick and grin with me and say, anytime you want to bring a guy over in a black cowboy hat would be fine with me. She always had that sweet demeanor about her, but she also was extremely funny. And so to see both sides of her did my world good.
She took great pride in working here, and we took great pride in having her here. Things definitely aren't the same without her, but I think she put a lot of effort and work into the school and made it a better place. I think a lot of times we don't appreciate people enough while they're here. Sometimes it's after they're gone or no longer with us that we really show appreciation for them. But I think in Miss Bobby's case, there was never a person I met that was like, had anything negative to say about her. It was always positive.
She was a woman of deep faith and saw to it to make sure Newberry was a welcoming place, that her faith taught her that, showed her that, and she believed and lived that.
To me, she reminded me of my grandmother and the passion that she had for seeing somebody succeed on a daily basis was just very evident.
I really think Bobby loved this place. She gave of her time, her sweat, and her tears from volunteering years ago, painting classrooms and dorm rooms and spending time helping to clean and oversee this place. It really was a part of her life.
You know, I think that her commitment to this school is something extraordinary, and I hope that's something that everyone tries to embody more. Is a little bit of Miss Bobby, her attitude, her spunk, and her commitment to Newberry College.
She was a true joy to be around, and I miss her daily. I have her picture on my desk, and we have conversations pretty regularly. She was very quiet, very private. I think that's the reason why we didn't have the first going home ceremony for her because of the snowstorm. I think she went up there and she knocked on the good Lord's door and said, "I told them I didn't want this, so I need you to make this happen." So I can just imagine her running heaven right now.
Jason, let's go see your room.
That's not right. How is it? Is it good?
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink, or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking, now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed, better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead, catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
It's something about having that piece of paper. Some people think that's worth more than my skills.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
You just gotta be so good they can't ignore you.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Analytics and empathy. That's how I've gained clients.
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Thanks for hearing me out, bro.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Welcome back to Wolves Weekly. Now let's get to the scoreboard and get you caught up with all the action that took place over the past week. In baseball, the Wolves got back on the winning track a bit this past week, winning 2 out of 4 games played. They started it off with a 6-5 win against top-ranked North Greenville University last Tuesday. Then the Mars Hill Lions came calling over the weekend, where the Lions took Game 1 on Friday by the score of 5-4. Then the Wolves pounded out 13 runs to win Game 1 in Saturday's doubleheader, 13-6. Unfortunately, the weekend ended on a sour note as Mars Hill recovered and took Game 2, 3-2, taking the lead in the 7th and final inning of the doubleheader. The team still sits over 500 at 14-13 for the season, but are only 5-10 in the conference. In softball, the Wolves split a pair of high-scoring games on the road against Catawba this past Saturday. In Game 1, the Wolves fell behind 5-0 early, but spurred on by an 8-run 5th inning. They would go on and win by 1, 14-13 at the end. Wolves catcher Samantha Clark hit 2 home runs in the game, including a grand slam. But Game 2 was virtually the opposite. The Wolves held a 10-3 lead heading into the bottom of the 6th, but gave up 7 runs to the Indians in that inning and 1 more in the 7th to drop the contest 11-10. Clark hit another home run in that game. Overall, she finished combined for the 2 games with 5 hits, 3 home runs, driving in 8 and scoring 5. The Wolves are now 14-19 on the season and are 4-4 in the conference, where they will take on Coker this week. In tennis, the Wolves faced off against Limestone University on Saturday. The women's team claimed an impressive 4-0 victory, while the men dropped their set against the Saints 4-0. The teams will be back in action early this week against North Greenville University at home. And finally, the Newberry College track and field team delivered strong performances, finishing at the Myrtle Beach Collegiate Challenge over the weekend. In some of the track highlights, Jamari Bennett clocked an impressive 11 seconds in the 100-meter prelims to finish 15th overall, while in the men's 110-meter hurdles, Addison O'Kane finished in 15.89 seconds to place 14th. For the women, Addie Davis excelled in the women's 1,500-meter, finishing in 7th place, and in the 400-meter hurdles, Shamar Brown placed first with a personal best time of 53.38 seconds. In the field, Sean Price delivered a standout performance, finishing the men's hammer throw in 4th place and claimed 3rd place in the javelin. And Andrea Pascual Rivera claimed 1st place in the women's hammer throw. The Wolves will look to build on their success as the outdoor season continues on March 29th, when they will compete at the Gotta Run Invite at Southern Wesleyan University in Central South Carolina. And don't forget that you can find information about all of Newberry's teams at newberrywolves.com. You'll find not only the latest scores and news, schedules, and team rosters, but you'll also find out how to get tickets, buy team merchandise, and so much more. All this is available to you anytime, anywhere at newberrywolves.com. And you know, we're currently on spring break, and that's why it's a little quiet around the campus right about now. But that's for most students. Please remember that all the athletes are still here. They don't really get a spring break. As a matter of fact, today, while we're shooting this episode, the tennis teams, as we just mentioned, they're going to be playing this afternoon. So there's a lot of action, a lot of stuff still going on. And if you are in this area of Newberry, come on out and support those teams, because all their friends are probably back at home during spring break. So just an idea. You can get those schedules, by the way, at newberrywolves.com. And that's all for this spring break edition of Wolves Weekly. I'm Al Della Chica. Join us next time for more Wolves Weekly.
Keep up to date on the latest in Newberry College athletics with Wolves Weekly, available on FloSports and produced by NCTV Newberry.